Just let that sink in, right? See that sound? Right? You will never hear that sound again on a brand new bike. Alright, today I'm going to do a review on my 2006 GSX-R600. So this is K6. So if you're not familiar with the K coding, it's the number from the year 2000. So you know, K1, 2001, etc. And the K6 and the K7 are pretty much almost identical bikes, and they've had some pretty good improvements over like the K5s, the K4s and K3s. So I think one of the main improvements is the frame. I think they've improved the frame, because the older ones, they used to like crack. I'm not sure, maybe this one, but it's a bit hard to find out. But there was some versions that when people did wheelies and like dropped the front of the frame will start to crack at the like headstock from the welding. So anyway, so this is a bike that I just got, and I always rode sport bikes, right? For most of my riding has been on sport bikes like this, 1600s, etc. And I listened to what everyone else said. Right? Everyone said that, you know, sport bikes, they're not comfortable, they're too hard to ride. And I listened, and I got rid of my sport bikes, and I bought, like, I had a Triumph 675 Street Triple, and I had a Viplin 401, like a small bike. And I feel like having those bikes for like a year and a half, and then coming back to this, it's like I haven't been riding for 1.5 years, and now that I got this, I'm back into riding. That's what it kind of feels like. Anyway, welcome to my channel where we talk about bikes and Bible verses. As usual, we're going to have a Bible verse at the end. So, the first thing I want to talk about is the comfort, because that's the thing that everyone talks about. And when I got this bike, the first thing I noticed was the comfort. Was how comfortable it was. Ironically, from what everyone's telling you, oh, they're so uncomfortable, and you know, your wrists are gonna cop it, right? When I'm on this bike, I feel like I'm, you know, reclining, like I'm sitting over this bike, right? And I'm reclining, and I'm all together, I'm all packed together, right? Unlike my Viplin, where my legs and knees were just dangling everywhere. You feel like you're in this tight little capsule, comfortable capsule, where you can just, you know. One other thing is, so see this sound, right? See that sound? I want everyone to know that you will never hear this sound again on any new bike that you buy. Any brand new bike that you buy, you will never hear this sound again. Okay? Just let that sink in, right? See that sound? Right? You will never hear that sound again on a brand new bike. Thank you for all the, you know, activists or whatever laws they put in. They come after they're like a bully who comes after the little guy, right? Motorcycle emissions makes up, like, okay, forget motorcycle emissions. Sport bike emissions make up less than 0.01% of the emissions, and they want to come and take that away. I'm not against stopping emissions. That's a good thing, making the air cleaner. This is a very niche thing, right? You're getting rid of it. Put a $1,000 tax on it. People will still buy it. You know why? Because people, they buy a brand new sport bike back in the day, and they'd put over $1,000 to put an exhaust on it. They didn't care, right? It's an enthusiast thing. But what these Big Brother, or whatever you want to call it, these regulations decided that they've only won against motorbikes, sport bikes. That's their only win. They can't win against cars or factories or boats or planes or anything like that, the ones that produce 99% of the emissions. They can't beat them. The other thing is like the ease of riding. Like, so they say, you know, sport bikes are hard to ride and other bikes are easy. To some extent, I agree. If you're a brand new rider, you might find the position a bit, you know, if you're not used to it, it might sort of put you off a bit, right? The actual riding position. But for some reason, I don't know why, my Vitplane, which is supposed to be like the smallest bike, was the bike that I almost dropped a lot of times. I don't know if it was because like I took it for granted being small, so I didn't pay attention to trying to not drop it. But it like a lot of times just doing stuff like trying to do a U-turn or something, and with this bike, I just, in a way, I found it really easy to ride. The way my feet are just sort of planted on the floor, I don't know, maybe that's just a Suzuki thing, like a Jigsaw thing. Maybe if you're short, you could ride it. Like, I'm 5'10", so I'm not super short and I'm not super tall. I'm just average. But I found it easy. Like on my Vitplane, I was tippy-toeing. Though having said that, I think it's less about that it's a small bike or a sport bike, and more about, you know, either being Japanese or European. Because I had the same complaints about my Triumph Daytona and my Street Triple. Like it was like I had to tippy-toe them on them, whereas the Japanese bikes, even the sport bikes, like, I'm more flat-footed, and it just seems, I don't know, it just seems comfortable, you know, trying to like push it around while you're on it, and, you know, like easy to maneuver. So the next thing that you'll notice when you ride this bike is the stability, right? So when I was learning to ride, I didn't have a sport bike, right? I just had, you know, like an R3 or something. And by the way, like, I found the R3 really scary to ride. And I just thought because I was a beginner, but actually after going onto sport bikes, I realized why. And it was the bike. And anyway, I remember watching, this was back a while ago, I was watching YouTube back in the days when YouTube wasn't about search optimization and scripting and having the best title and thumb and all of that rubbish that you got to do now just to get views. Back then, people just used, you know, there was a guy and his girlfriend, they were out riding, and he had a Jigsaw, and his girlfriend had some other bike, like a smaller bike. Anyway, he let her ride it, and I could just see from the video how smooth it was. And the first thing that his girlfriend was saying was, you know, how smooth the bike was. And he's telling his girlfriend, he's like, yeah, you can take it up to, like, you know, 100 miles, that is. And it was just that smoothness where, you know, the just the lack of confidence that I have when riding these small bikes, like I was saying with the R3, right? The lack of confidence. Whereas these, they're just so smooth, even at high speeds. And like, I don't know what it is, the suspension, the size of the tires, and they're pretty lightweight too. And the other thing, I guess, with that is the handling. So I always thought it was kind of like it's just in your mind that one bike handles better than the other. Like, it's just in your head, like they're all the same. But really, after doing like double blind test, I guess, like riding one and then going back to the other, like starting on a sport, going back to like a non-sport or a small bike, and then going back to a sport bike, I think you realize it's not. It is truly, the handling is truly more precise and more confidence inspiring. Like, I took my Viplin on a regular ride here in between Sydney and Newcastle. They call it like the Putty Road. It's like a windy road. I think it's, I guess, equivalent to, you know, the Tail of the Dragon that I've heard about in the US. So here they go to the Putty Road. I took my Viplin there, and I nearly went wide, and I've never done that. Like, I've rode so many times, and like the worst part is I was under the speed limit. I nearly went wide while I was under the speed limit on these sort of fast country roads. It was a bit bumpy. There was a bit of it was 100 kilometers, so that's 60 miles. And then a bend, and the road was a bit bumpy, and then there was cars going 100 the other direction. It pulled me off, and I nearly went wide. And that has never happened to me, but it happened to me on my Viplin. So the handling. So with these, like, something that you can do on a non-sport bike at about 80 kilometers, you can do on this maybe at about 120, 130, and it'll feel the same. Which is the problem with this bike, because, you know, speed is speed, right? And that's the thing that can cause people to crash, get you undone in a way where, like, if you're just going faster, there's more chance that people don't see you because you weren't there when they looked. And there's more chance of, like, you're obviously traveling more distance, so if you make a mistake, your reaction time, all of this, maybe you don't have any time to react, and you hit harder when you're going faster. So speed is speed, and I guess that's the problem with this bike, is it makes you feel comfortable at a higher speed, but a higher speed is always still dangerous. I think the last point, which is what everyone wants to talk about, is the power. Now, the power wasn't that much of an issue on any bike that I ride. Even on my Viplin, like, it's still, like, all bikes are fast enough to have fun on, right? Only thing is, I guess, with this is it wants you to ride faster. Like, once you get like that power and you hear, and it's so smooth, like it encourages you to ride faster. And it's kind of nice to have, even though, like, it makes you more dominant on the roads. Like, I had people bullying me when I was on my Viplin, these big four-wheel drives, trying to assert their power and dominance, but they can't do that on this bike. But I mean, all of that is stupid anyway. You really need to have a humble attitude when you're riding to stay safe. So anyway, that's all I want to talk about. I just want to, I guess, end with a Bible verse here, and that's from 2 Corinthians chapter 4. Momentary affliction is preparing us for eternal weight of glory beyond comparison. Yeah, like, to summarize that verse, like, it's something that I always talk about, and that is, like, whatever you're going through here is only temporary, is transient. And sometimes the stuff that you're going through here, the pains and stuff, like, help you to grow to build something that's eternal. We need to remember, like, this is all just temporary. Everything that happens in this world is temporary. So anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about. So don't forget, if you like my video, please hit the like button. If you have any comments, please don't forget to make comments. If you like my content in general, please subscribe, and take it easy and ride safe.